Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6, 7. All right, so as you can see on the map, we are at the border of Indiana and Ohio. We are currently on the 40, which is the National Highway slash Lincoln Highway slash a lot of other thing highways. And this 40, look at this thing, Indianapolis, and then is this 40? 36. So 40 comes into Indianapolis. Oh, 40 comes out going down here. Forty is St. Louis. And then from St. Louis, it goes. Here we go. Columbia, Kansas City, still going, 40, 40, so it's falling to 70. Forty goes into Denver. Yep. Okay, so this is the other pass, or the other. So Lincoln Highway is up here, but then they go in and out together. Fascinating. When I was talking with the lady at the front desk, is where we are is basically halfway in between Omaha and New Jersey, the end of this national highway. And we're here at the Golden Inn, which is interesting. I felt like that was appropriate. No, I don't think I chose this place because of that, but the her last name is Golden, which is kind of cool. And oh no. And one of the things I said is that when I was at Promontory, they were talking about how any place can become something special if someone deems it, it brings attention to it or whatever. The Promontory, nobody really cared about it. They'd already removed the steel for the war and stuff like that. This is really like kind of halfway once you've gotten to Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is the next golden spike. So if you have, okay, let's get this right. We got Omaha, let's say halfway, Promontory spike, then here is another spike. That's the 5 points. And then the gap between Omaha and Sacramento has the two mountains with points on either side of support. And the half, it's it's like a a chain of lines, but you can't just have all one type of pearl going across. It has to be multifaceted and have pieces in between and markers, or else the system won't work. Because if you just put a bunch of water plants, the steam thing doesn't work. Because the thing is, as time changes, the needs for what's pushing it along. I mean, currently it's set up as a diesel system, so you have to have the diesel yard and fueling areas and stuff like that. But imagine if it was because maybe we're switching to electric trains, or you have to get the power somewhere else and resources and different. But it then comes down to control of land. Okay, let's focus on here. So here we are at the Golden Inn, and it's pretty cool. Okay, let's head to Dayton, Ohio. Um, Yesterday was tornado. It was kind of crazy, actually. Yesterday was wild. There was a full tornado warning, and on the map it popped up. And then it was going full bore. This is before it started to get really gnarly. I was like, whoa, this is. And then look at this. And then I got this on my phone. Like, this was cool. This is like descriptive. I'm in a motel room and I'm going, okay, if there's a tornado, there's very little in this motel that's gonna save. I guess maybe it's just. I mean, I was like, this is gonna be bad. But then I'm like, I mean, this motel has been here for 70 something years, 70 for a really long time. So like, I mean, maybe it got destroyed once in a tornado and been rebuilt. That's the thing. Like, if something keeps getting destroyed, why do you keep rebuilding it? We have that issue in California with the. Man, I talked to some two interesting people in this town. One guy, when I was walking the Buddha, we chatted for probably 10, 15 minutes about politics and stuff. You like Gavin Newsom? No, sir. You like Nancy Pelosi? No, sir. You conservative? No, sir. All right, I was like, my dad's a Republican, mom's Democrat. All right. I got the warnings, and then look at this. In the middle of a tornado warning, look, it's tornado warning until 8, and here it's 7:57. We have this. You can't, it's just like, bro, don't care. Horse don't care. Horse like, let's go. Let's go do something. It's freaking tornado warning. Like 10 minutes earlier, the rain is coming at like 45-degree angle. That's amazing. I want to do this. I want to ride in one. Can we go back? Wow. Maybe I should have done a panorama. Would have been a good moment for a panorama. Look at this. The cornfield over there. Are you looking at that window? Yeah, or at the right window, you'll see that. That's that farm right there in that cornfield. They did huge corn maze. It's giant flowers this town. Coca-Cola bottle opener. All right. Yeah, you can see it. World lovely place. Um, I mean, this motel's been here for a long time. I'm hungry. Okay. Been so I mean it's been we're coming up on 3 weeks. Yeah, this is 3 weeks of this. I would say almost. We left on Tuesday. Yeah, almost 3 weeks. And I mean it's amazing what we've learned, huh? I mean, I still can't get over the soy and corn thing. I think that's just continually blows. We're at 250 National Road, celebrating 200 years of the National Road. I didn't even get a good picture of that sign. Did you see that? That was the. You guys think? Okay, so you're busy celebrating 100 years of Route 66. I went 100 years older on Route 40 on the National Road. Holy, what a world! I mean, here, this is it. Soy on the left, corn on the right. This corn doesn't look very good. Oh, well, it has variability to it. Normally, I'm always so impressed with the modern corn system, how they managed to get it so perfect. Why here? Oh, that corn. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what's going on over there. Um, but the thing is so are the inputs into this system worth the output? I don't know. I mean, you're gonna have to. I mean, what we haven't talked about is all those ammonia things. There, I haven't filmed. I don't think I've streamed that. So typically, by the grain silos in the towns, they'll have some equipment that they keep for the town, I guess, to do people's farms, because it doesn't appear like a lot of these people have property and somebody else is farming on their property and or they use the equipment. I haven't figured part out. I haven't figured out the business part of the local side of this yet. What's motive? Okay, if you own this land, what's the motivation? Cash? Okay. So that means so you have your property that your family owned. They used to do it themselves. They used to be all in charge of it and have all the risk. But now like they're not doing this. An individual I can't imagine that an individual farmer at like just a house is doing this. That is a very skilled task. I, maybe some, I don't know, I could be wrong. I have to imagine that whoever's doing these main silos things in the towns, the Cargills situations, that it's a whole vertical chain of profit for them maximization, cutting out as many middlemen as possible and as many and corporate maximization of profit is my best guess. I'm probably pretty close, right? But yeah, because why would a farmer have the well, in certain ways, that's what they used to do. They used to have the seed machine used to go around the town and do the seed stuff. But then you remove the seed thing and you're buying seed every year to maximize. I mean, they're all perfect. That's the thing that you're buying the perfect plant. We saw the corn producing place where they slice the tops off the corn to generate the seed more or whatever. See the ammonia, propane ammonia chain? So this is not the community silo. So that's the thing. So I could be seeing a couple different scales of situations. I um that's more agro-business, which is probably something I should learn more about. Look out for motorcycles. Okay, look at this guy. And you're doing how many? Whoa, whoa, what? That's a whole bunch of question marks. Um, yeah, wow. Whoa, that barn. I wonder if you went back in like the 50s and stuff, if they had old buildings and things that were, or I guess if you, at a certain point, when you built up a bunch of stuff in the 40s and 50s, way more, the exponential things, there's going to be way more of newer old stuff. Oh, this is that truck parking lot rental thing I saw on the website. You know, the sweet corn farming is interesting. It looks like it's a different plant almost. It looks skinnier. If I had to say, if I had to guess, the sweet corn. If I can tell the difference between the plants, I think the sweet corn's a more narrow plant, and the corn actually looks like maybe a little chunkier. But I don't know. I don't know. I figured it out. I'm not talking to the robot to figure out answers. That's the thing. If you don't have any answers, you just drive around. You're like, I wonder. I wonder this. Oh, I'll Google that later. And then you forget. I mean, like, it's nice to be unplugged, I guess, sort of. I mean, I spent the last couple days more unplugged, but like, the rate at which you discover, it's like, how, if you're going somewhere, like and we went to India, there, we had a driver. And after like a day, we were like, this guy that can't really communicate with us. He's not giving us any information. And we're like, hey, the we have another driver. And they're like, no, he's just a driver. Like you, and then we show up to I want to say by Agra or something like that. We had like an expert guide with us who we met separately, and it was like, okay, the split roles. I guess that's me, the multi-purpose. Trailer is tempting, man. I'm vibing more towards the trailer. Considering if I'm spending $100 a night on a hotel, 70 to $100 a night, it adds up, man. And the thing is, the trailer, well, The trailer is a whole separate equation. Then you're doing more on gas, but then is that really if you're spending I don't know, man. I think I don't know exactly. The thing is, I don't know what I want. Does that make sense? I don't know what I don't know whether I want to be a trailer person or a Santa Monica apartment person or an East Coast person. I'm kind of tempted. New York sounds really tempting because it's close to Washington D.C. Family's there. They can help with my parents. But I just don't know what it's like. I can't visualize it until I'm there. And that's the whole point of any of this. Like, if I've been somewhere, I can think about that place in another light. But if you've never seen it, you don't know. I mean, people just go places typically, I guess, for work, wherever they can get work. But the thing is like, I can't work. I was looking up all these, like, places where to live and stuff. It's like, what am I gonna do? I'm serious. What? I don't. I have no idea what that is. I think trailer keeps winning because the trailer is mobile. I can go anywhere. I'm driving slower than a trailer. This guy just wants to pass me. Look at this. Is that what I want to do with my life? I mean, it's not bad. Seems pretty cool. National Historic Road. It's pretty cool. It started in Sacramento, heading to Washington D.C. on a National Historic Road now. Heading. Oh, by the way, where am I going? Does anybody? I don't know if anybody's watching knows this at this point. We've talked about it, but we're headed to Dayton, Ohio, where the National Museum of the Air Force is, and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and Flight Fest, and home of the first ever DARPA Lift Challenge. Pretty excited. Pretty excited. I I had some. I mean, I could be surprised. Maybe there's other presidential candidates that are going to be there, but I think it'll be pretty unique. I don't like what's happening right now. I'm just going to slow down. Um, Child had to go to the bathroom really bad? What? That's what that looked like to me. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I could have gone zoom by, but like, last thing I want is that guy being like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get in the driver's seat," and I mean, I don't need to do that. I'll just take my time and go a little slow. Come to a stop. Wait for you guys to get in your car. Wait for the other car to go around so I can make a good smooth pass. I think maybe if it was like a pass like this line, Like if it's like double dotted, it was solid on my side, so I was like, oh, a little slow. Um, so I'm talking to this guy. I was feeling a little bit sad yesterday, and I don't know. I talking to this guy, and I realized like what I'm doing, like why I'm doing what I'm doing. He was talking about, how they wanted to widen the road, and the guy didn't want to sell the part of his road, so they took it anyway. Or they needed his house for the freeway, so the city condemned the house and made it unlivable, so he couldn't live there. Boom. And it's like, it's a force of power. Here, I'm going to give you some deal. If you don't take it, I'm going to make it worse for you later. It's the same thing with my divorce. Well, I guess anybody who has power is going to do the same thing. Denial and control. Do what I want or whatever. But don't see the consequences. I mean, and then he's talking about socialist Democrats. It's fascinating, his perspective. And we're talking about how they're just taking the land and stuff. And it's like, well, in California, it's the opposite. The farmers didn't want to give up their land, so they ended up having to build like giant, like, um, bridges and stuff for the California rail to go over. It costs extra money for everyone else because people don't want to allow a communal good on their property because in general everyone wants their own thing. Wow, you should have seen that Trump flag. Well, it was okay. So what was it? It was a Trump return, but it had been there since 2013. So it was dark and like had kind of mossy stuff kind of going on it. Okay, is this the road of all the campers and stuff? Because they don't take follow-up question. Because here's a van. Is this guy just? How do I want to let this guy pass. What a fascinating universe we've just come into. Yeah, look at these Vanagons, guys. I mean, I almost did a ProMaster. What would my life have been like if I had gotten a ProMaster? Did I really need a truck? No. I think well, I also wasn't ready to get so ill and sick in last year. So that was kind of a bummer. I think I probably would have been more outdoorsy during the winter if I hadn't have been so ill. But that's what my mom said. Was like, "Oh, I'm not doing stuff because I'm sick." Well, I don't want to be that. I mean, but this dude's in an Eddie Bauer Thor version motorhome. That's like freaking $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 van. I mean, cool, but like that's not what I want. That's definitely not what I wanted. This is, I think, trailer. Because trailer has the whole thing that people can come like, trailer. But then you don't. Then you parking and everything is so complicated. Oh, oh, oh. What do you think a container sale is? Do you think they're selling like 40-foot containers or 20-foot containers or like what is that? That was like a cave in that was a dugout cave. Okay, it was there were a couple houses and then a big hill. Then there were these thinner kind of stacked rocks kind of going up on the hill, but there was an entranceway leading into the hill. Look at this old house. Wow. I almost wonder if it's more interesting out the side than out the front. What do you think? Should we switch cameras? I haven't done that in a while. Or ever. Mm. Hmm. I think maybe 45 if I angle it forward more. Should we try it? No, but then you won't get the front view of the house. What's cool about this view is you see the front of the of it's this way. The thing with the I've had this vibe in the 360 camera for a while on what to do. I don't know. This is pretty cool. I mean, this is amazing. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm pretty excited that I'm going to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base after meeting Bob, who I guess was in charge of the whole base. It's just crazy. I mean, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of I can't wait to meet all these smart people. Oh my God, am I excited. So many smart people. And they're doing like the most important thing right now. I also, if I was DARPA, I would also create a submarine competition. That looked like a really old property marker. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. It was probably about 4 or 5 feet tall, concrete, rounded. It looked like maybe it had some. No, it didn't look like it had rebar. It looks like outside was being supported by rebar. I'm gonna see if I see any more of them. What happened to those vehicles? Yikes! That was like a horror movie where like the monsters rip cars open and eat the people from inside. Thanks. I kind of miss the music situation. All right, we're gonna go right. Oh, you can't see my screen. I should show you the hybrid screen that I can see from Ford. So you can see me regenning. Oh, too late. I was too late. I missed. Too late. If I had gone on the brakes a little earlier, I could have maximized the regen, but I had a car behind me and busy chatting. And I was talking about it, but you can see uh, how you can maximize braking. So you can put it right up to the maximum brake force, which is probably about 47 horsepower, I would assume. My guess is if the electric motor in the transmission runs at 47 horsepower, I would assume it can slow the car down with 47 horsepower of slowdown. Oh, right now I'm on electric, so I'm at 40. I can use up to 47 horsepower without turning on the engine, which I can get up to 55 miles an hour on electric, and even sustain it on level ground. I mean, here it's from a nature standpoint, it's incredible. I love it when I'm out in the woods and you just flip the engine off. I wish I could have more control over it. I also wish the battery was bigger and had plug-in, but alas. I got the window open for Buddha. The guy's head out the window, sniffing up a storm. Keep it slow for him. Oh, we're about to run out of battery. Boom, engine turned on. So that was about what we had with the battery there. That's cool. That bird's impressive. Oh, there's a walker. My parents need a walker. Or a rollator. Well, these 250 years, 1776 to 2026. And then we've got an American flag with peace stars. That's interesting. I was wondering what we would do with the flag if we end up adding some more states. And I was voting concentric circles. So you have the circles on the outside and then smaller, smaller, smaller. Like 13, 12, and then you'll get there. Because the original had the 13 circles. And you'll see that in a lot of the 250th anniversary. We're crossing over the 70, the Dwight Eisenhower Freeway. Whoa, that tree is crazy. Mm, my name is Buddha. I am a doggy. I am all black and have a white chest, three white paws, and a white hair. You're my baby Buddha bear. My baby Buddha. You are a doggy. You are all black and have a white chest, three white paws, and a white hair. You're my baby Buddha bear. Oh, this guy didn't want the whole time. This guy's making us think about it. And then I finally pull over for him, and then he pulls right into his house. That's what I get. I'm pulling over for people is just, I'm done. I'm pulling over people. It doesn't make sense out here. Maybe in the canyons and whatever, but like, this doesn't make any sense to be like, whatever, I'm just going slow. You like going out the window? I don't think people grasp the scale of corn and soy. I just don't think people can grasp the scale of it. It is so expansive and so much of it. It is astronomical to choose two things to just copy and paste. It's I can it is it is so mind boggling, but if you look at the food system and what we've created, you can see the motivation for it. you have a lot of people that want to just eat meat all the time. And the only way to do that is to grow way more food and feed it to the cows so that you can then eat the cows. And it's not like you take 1 pound of grain and you get 1 pound of beef. It's one of those bad conversion rates. Again, like the hadron, the muons to neutrinos to muon conversion. No, you need the neutrino to electrons, or muon to electron conversion. You gotta get that more efficient, like that, better than the AC to DC or DC step up. So you were busy doing this, but the thing is if people ate the soy and the corn, fine, but they don't eat this. They take 40 corn. How much corn? How many pounds of corn make how many pounds of beef?
Do you want me to use ChatGPT to answer that?
Okay.
It takes roughly 6 to 8 pounds of corn to produce 1 pound of beef in a grain-fed system. This is because cattle convert only part of the energy in feed into muscle, while the rest supports metabolism and growth. That was from ChatGPT. Check important info for mistakes.
I mean, it supports more than just that. It supports all their cognitive thought and their emotions and their feelings. That's what's lost in the efficiency. The cow's feelings and hopes and dreams. I mean, I don't know about cows' hopes and dreams, but yeah, they do. They want to make other cow babies and eat a bunch of corn and or eat a bunch of grass, which they don't get access to. And then they want to shit and piss and mate and sleep and eat and then mate and shit and piss and eat and sleep more. Right? Isn't that what we all do? Seeing the scale of humans was super cool. What was it? What was I looking at? Where was I yesterday? At Purdue. I was learning about the solar system or whatever. Um, oh, Earth. They were talking about the history of Earth and humans and stuff. It's just like this very small slice on the scale of time. Yeah, yesterday I went to Purdue University and hung out there. Look at a little teardrop. Don't want a teardrop? I think it's interesting how much the solar system science has changed since I was in school. I mean, like the discussion about Pluto and the other three other planets, or three other objects, which is interesting because Pluto is not really that. The other ones aren't really that much smaller, even. I mean, I remember when I was in school learning about planets, Mark would come over and we'd talk. He was my neighbor who would help me with some of my homework every once in a while. And he taught me about, they call it Planet X, another planet after the nine. Wow. Well, they changed that all up. Because maybe there's a whole bunch more, but farther out in like Oort cloud and stuff, and we can't see it. Or we don't even know it's there. These trees are wild, especially how they come over the road like this. If there was a truck, like, I don't know what they must just pay a lot of attention. Are we almost to the woods? I mean, it's just wild to see what would you look on the map and there's very, very little of Ohio that's left. It's pretty wild actually. I think cemeteries are an interesting thing. These small town cemeteries are fascinating. For a while, they all kind of had the same formula of being on the side of the small town roads. I mean, this is a pretty of a lot of the small town cemeteries I've been to. This one's very big. What it's telling me is that there probably were a lot of people here in this town. Wow, what a large cemetery. Well, I think we made it to the woods. Wow, this is different than soy and corn. There's like diversity. I can count so many different plants. There's like at least 10. Oh, there's probably way more. I'm just not, I don't, oh, the other little things. I don't know, there's a lot of little things. Those trees. Those trees look awfully familiar. I was, I was at the City Hall of Lafayette, and literally out in front of Lafayette was a sycamore tree, and I was tripping out, man. Like, I started this whole thing in Sacramento. Wow, this park is amazing. This is an amazing park. Wow, what a beautiful. Let's hang out here, Buddha. This place looks awesome. Oh, no, no, no.
trying to do here is film this flower with the microscope because this white circular flower is pretty ubiquitous over here. Oh, don't destroy the flower. Okay, careful. Hand holding is tricky. I guess I have that stand, but I don't have a table. What if I hold the camera steady and then hold the. Alright, let's try that. A 1000x is almost too much. What about if I zoom out? Can I go here? What's that? I'm gonna zoom in that. So it looks like the leaves on the outside bloomed before the ones on the inside. There's a pistil, right? The thing that comes out of the middle. Let's zoom out a little more. Alright, so this is all the way zoomed out. What's interesting is how they're grouped. They have these divisions that come out and they branch out. Interesting. Are these guys mosquitoes? What are you? You're a different kind of bug. I don't know what kind of flying thing you are. I don't think you're a mosquito. You're too big, too fat. bugs get you. Whoa, that's a bunch of bugs in here. Okay, we have been swarmed. Are you flies? Oh, you're just like a weird looking fly. See, the thing is what are you gonna do? How do you secure a car door? I'm genuinely serious about this. With the beast, how do you deal with this stuff? How do you deal with these things? I mean, they have the dragonfly thing. Whatever. That's not something I need to be processing right now. Yeah, how many flies are you? 6? I mean, the bugs are good. I mean, I waste flies here because they're trash human stuff. I gotta figure out how to get these flies out of the car. Whoa, someone was telling me a fly swatter joke the other day. Come on, out. Go, out, out. Come on, go out, out, go out. Did I get you out? You go out. Oh, come on, come on, come on. You're so close. Come on, come on, go out. Come on, go out. I'm being nice. I'm being nice to you. I'm being really nice to you, Mr. Fly. Please go out of the car. Thank you. I think we did it. Did I do it? Well, I didn't have to kill any bugs. I mean, I had to kill the flower. What was interesting about the stem of those little round, they're everywhere. Those little white round guy flowers, the little tiny flowers, but they're divisible and it's like so you have one stem that's very strong. I mean, very strong, and it then goes up and gets divided into the base stems of the round part. But then multiple other little one then from those there's probably like I probably should have counted. Let's say 17 probably sounds about right. Because you have the nature by numbers thing. Um okay, so let's say or it'll be 20, it could be more. And then those then divide into four. And that's very similar to what we've been dealing with here with the Transcontinental Railroad. There's one, and then it hits Omaha and then splits and then splits. Um, Branching, forking. I guess in this case, flower. I mean, there's a whole field of those, all those white flowers. They are about 4 inches in diameter max. They range anywhere from about 2 to 4 inches in diameter. And it's almost like they're the poppies of up here, the California poppies. Whoa, look at this hill! We have this is our first major hill of the whole trip. Wow! That was that's and then the whole trip this for like a long time. We just like did something. There's actual terrain. I was cool reading at the in the at oh, we got another fly. When I was reading at Purdue about one of the engineers who went to Purdue was an astronaut, and she was on the flight that had a high resolution scanner of the Earth, radar scanner for topography. Um, Carryouts. I don't know about that. I'm curious. There's, I know about California stuff, but like the oh, you want to leave the car. You want to leave the car. And Kratom. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on that I don't know about. And CBD, obviously, but the CBD thing. I mean, I'm because you have a state
based system. Like, imagine if you had different cigarette or alcohol laws. Well, I guess you do alcohol. In Utah, they can only serve low percentage, whatever, all that stuff. I mean, that's the point. It's not, it's very inefficient. And it results in probably less consumer safety if it's not studied on a national scale. Like, well, very interesting. I'm completely scarred. I didn't want to go on a hike there because I'm worried about getting the car broken into. Just so scarred from San Francisco. Scarred from San Francisco and then scarred from I mean I was okay, so last summer I got robbed in San Francisco. They broke into the car, stole my scooter and my backpack and a couple things. Not too much. More than they broke the window and stuff. And I then in September um yeah, look at all these sycamores. Sycamore State Park. Uh, um September I was so last time I slept in the bed of the truck. I robbed us. He took my backpack while it was in the bed of the truck with me. Whoa, that's a deer. Okay. That's a good looking deer. Uh, oh. Whoa, that tree got knocked over. Whoa, look what it did. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, so that was a. Okay, so I'm looking at a power line, a small power up above on the top, and then beneath it, it hit the cable. And is that fiber? I'm assuming the bottom one with that junction stuff is fiber. This may have just fallen over last night because it was pretty nutty last night. All right, so the power has been severed for sure, but the question is, did it yank on the? I mean, it's still attached. Okay, let's look closer. Well, that's the thing. How is that tree supposed to exist in between the curb and the sidewalk there? That's an insane spot for a tree. First of all, that is a very old big tree that's been there for a really long time. Predates the sidewalk there. I mean, look at the normal trees that are there are like that big. So that's the thing. You max that age of that tree out, and look what happens. It literally had as that was a 3.5 foot diameter tree in a 1.5 foot width between the curb and the sidewalk. Wow, that was brutal. That tree must have been pissed its whole life, or at least until they put the sidewalk there. Oof. Wow. Trotwood, we have a train station. All right, what am I looking at? I'm looking at. Where are we? Where's the train station? Oh, like there. Diagonal. That's the old train station. Trotwood, B&O. So the train would have gone at an angle 45 degrees. That's why it's angled that way. A huge silo of some form. I mean, look at this silo. It's enormous. That thing. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stories. 10 stories almost. Eight. Let's say 8 stories. It's almost grown over. It's actually pretty incredible. Let me get a picture. Car photo? Car photo. It's raining. I don't want to get wet. Ah, these are big water droplets. All right, Trotwood. Got me. I need info. I made it as far as I could without getting the data. All right, I need the information on Trotwood train station, where I'm at in Ohio, and I'm next to a B&O railcar C3004 and has like a Capitol building on it. And I'm on the national highway, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Oof, old. Oof. North Branch River. Not surprising.
You are standing at the historic Trotwood Railroad Depot, surrounded by the town's preserved railroad heritage. Here is exactly what you are looking at and the history behind how it got there. The B&O C3004 caboose and the Capitol logo. The red rail car you are next to is a preserved vintage caboose that was originally operated by the Baltimore and Ohio B&O Railroad. The Capitol building. The emblem you see is the famous B&O Capitol Dome logo. The B&O was one of America's oldest railroads, and its premier passenger lines, like the Capitol Limited, ran exclusively in and out of Washington, D.C. In the 1930s, the company adopted the United States Capitol Dome as its primary brand symbol to market this direct connection to the nation's capital. Why it's there? When the railroad tracks running through Trotwood were abandoned, the Trotwood Historical Society acquired vintage cabooses, including the C3004, and brought them to the depot to serve as a physical monument to the town's rail-fueled past. The Trotwood train station. The depot you are looking at is locally known as the Oldtown 1912 Depot. It has a rather unusual history. It was moved by truck. The depot was built in 1913, but it isn't sitting where it was originally constructed. 75 years after it was built, the entire building was loaded onto a truck and transported to its current location near the corner of Main Street and Broadway to preserve it. The town's origins. Before it was Trotwood, this area was just a local water stop for steam engines known as Higgins Station. A local entrepreneur eventually set up a general store and applied for a post office franchise. When he found out the name Higgins Station was already taken in Ohio, he named it Trotwood after Aunt Betsy Trotwood, a character in Charles Dickens' David Copperfield. The National Highway, you mentioned being on the National Highway. You are situated just south of U.S. Route 40, known historically as the National Road. It was the first federally funded highway in U.S. history and served as a major gateway to the west. The combination of the National Road nearby and the railroad coming directly through this depot is what built the region's early economy. Want to know where the abandoned tracks lead today?
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Mercedes is a weird driving situation. Well, that kind of explains it a little bit better. It's always interesting when they move the train stations. It's common. I would say half, maybe a little less than half. I would say half to a third of these like historical train stations have all been moved. They're not. I'm very maybe even more than half. Because if you're gonna save it, you're gonna have to move it unless spot. I, mean, I don't know. Well, I guess we made it to civilization. I kind of, I, th- I think I like it more rural, but at the same time, well, okay. I like it rural, but there are some benefits to these that are nice. Like I'm going to a grocery store. That's cool. But also, it's a big enough town that I go to like a healthy grocery store, not just any grocery store. Oh, we got overhead power for the bus system here. Look at this. Split contact, the double rail, eco electric smart dolly. Look at this. Okay, so they have. Okay, so there is high power system on the right. How is that working? How do you... Oh, none of these are supplying power. These are just support. Okay. All right. So none of those are actively pinging it. So where is the main... Where does the power for the line come from if it's not being supported by all the little doodads? Wonder why those had the extra insulation bar. I wonder how far the bus can drive without being on the track, like if it has battery backup. Whoa. I was talking to the lady at the front desk, and she was like, I was telling her I was running for president and stuff, and she's like, oh, he's out of a protest. No, it's not a protest. First of all, I don't think I'm gonna win. So I had to explain that it's more like a artistic framework and an ability to communicate with people. He's like, I'm gonna look you up. I said, you're gonna look me up. You're gonna see a year-old missing person report. So go for it. So I'm gonna look you up on IMDb. I'm like, IMDb doesn't have all of my credits. It only has with the studios and the producers and whoever contributes to it online or whatever. It's interesting that like people don't know. I was like, it doesn't have any of my commercials or music videos or. It's interesting. I was talking to her about my project with the human trafficking and it changing hotel laws and awareness, and then I realized she didn't have a whole lot of education on human trafficking either. Maybe I don't. if for a cosmetologist you have to be licensed to cut somebody's hair, you have to be licensed to house people, to put people in the for this, but I think you need to be able to pass a human trafficking test to run a motel. There's one guy talking about being a truck driver and retired military people, and he's like complaining about the foreign drivers being truck drivers because they pay so bad as being a truck driver, and these illegal immigrants being truck drivers and taking his job. I mean, I don't think 22,000 illegal truck drivers, this is what the guy's saying. I don't trust, I don't, we always verify whatever. But like, I can't imagine if you have 22,000 truck drivers, it's not gonna like change the industry. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's a big number, but like, do you know how many truck drivers there are? So to use that number as a whatever, like and it's like, yo, all you people who are complaining about immigrants, yo, I'm from Los Angeles. You all fucking came here and tried to take my job. I want to go into film and be an editor, and everyone had to come move to California. My natural home job is film and entertainment. But am I able to go into it? No, because all the immigrants that moved to California. Well, what are you gonna complain? Oh, they're still Americans. Yeah, they're not from California. They're definitely not from Los Angeles, and hell, they're not from Santa Monica. So it's like I'm still trying to figure out like, are you telling me that a human on Earth isn't allowed to do something? Why? A human on Earth. We're like human on Earth, dude in Africa, human on Earth, dude in Japan, human on Earth, dude in China, human on Earth, dude in Russia, human on Earth, dude in Antarctica, who's down by doing the self-surgery or whatever, human on Earth. But to tell me like someone can't go somewhere to do some work and live and do whatever, like, yo, we have enough restrictions on this planet, but like restricting people's movement is the problem that I see. I see a huge issue, but that allows the system to keep the hierarchy if you basically trap people in these towns. I mean, we talk about the adult dancer I met. She lost her license and her car's trapped. She's trapped. She's trapped in town. She can't go anywhere. Well, you got me on how I get into this place. So, what did you guys do with this lane over here? Oh, it's a bike lane. Well, Santa Monica, here's your lesson on how to deal with separated bike lanes. You just don't have park. Oh yeah, that's a hippie store. You got a bunch of electric charging stations here. All right, let's. Hi. Well, okay. That's interesting. Let's go get some soy milk and call it a day. Yeah. So, should we get the name of the flower? These ladies. Oh, man. How good that was off camera. Oh, man. Whoa, where the town am? This is. I just crossed over into another universe. This is the universe of people and living and struggle and maybe not struggle, maybe survival, maybe thriving, but time and change. Like, how old is that house? There's this house over there on the left, not the concrete one, the one over just there. I gotta take a look at this thing. How old am I right here? Okay, 1902. So right now we're 125. Just random spot next to the place I'm stopping to get some groceries. It's like 120-year-old, 124-year-old, 120, 125-year-old crazy house over there. Oh, we're in old Dayton. Well, that explains that. Old Dayton view. Oh, I'm on the other side of a river. Downtown's on the other side. Salem Street, old downtown. So where's railroads down there? Great Miami River. Okay, so the rail does go near Dayton, the Wright-Patterson. I remember a very large like levee or something. Oh, I guess that's because of the water thing. Queen Anne's lace, also known as the wild carrot. You're entirely right about its habitat. It's practically synonymous with tall meadow grasses, unmaintained fields, and roadsides, frequently growing right outside other wildflowers, poppies, and yellow asters in your photo. Here are the breakdown. The wild carrot. The plant is the direct wild ancestor of the domesticated carrots we eat today. If you pull it up by roots, the taproot looks like a small pale carrot and smells exactly like one. The bird's nest, as the flower cluster calls the umbel, ages and goes to seed, it folds inward, creating a distinct curled up cup shape. You can actually see a green unopened one. Where the common name comes from an old English legend that Queen Anne pricked her finger with a needle while crafting white lace, leaving a small drop of blood in the center. Many of these flowers feature tiny burl red drop in the center, neutralized weed. While it's beautiful wildflower, it's not native to North America. It was introduced from Europe and Asia and is heavily naturalized across the continent. It looks very similar to poison hemlock, which is highly toxic and can be fatal when ingested. Ooh. Well, so the synonymous plant is invasive. It's more like the mustard plant. It's more like our mustard plant. You're spot on. If you meet the wild yellow mustard plants that completely take over the hillsides and fields around California, they actually have a whole lot in common behaviorally. Even though they look different close up, mustard has those bright yellow stalks and Queen Anne's lace has those flat white umbrellas. They act exactly in the same way. Invasive spread. Both are non-native weeds brought over from Europe that absolutely thrived there. They both spread aggressively and tend to crowd out native wildflowers like the California poppies. The growth habitat. Both plants love disturbed soil, roadsides, and open fields. They grow tall and spindly, shooting up above the meadow grasses to grab sunlight. Cycle. Just like the wild mustard that dries out into those tall, dead stalks for late, so Queen Anne light dries up in those birds' nests, scatters seeds everywhere for the next year. Wow, fascinating. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and that's it for now. Maybe I'll come back later and we'll see what else we're gonna do. Bye.